successfully here on this episode, June 2026. This episode of the Smart Student Playbook. And what I want to discuss with you today is way better than being a first class student. It's very important to first of all clear the air and say that it's being a first class student bad. No, by all means, that's the highest grade that you can get. If you can get it, do well to get it. But if you cannot get it, or if you are on the path, your CGPA, you're looking at it and you're like, oh no, I'm not sure I can end up with a first class degree, then it's still great. It's still okay. There's a whole lot more that you can gain out of your life. I promise you that beauty can still come out of that life without necessarily having that first class. And another way that I would have titled this is much more important than academic exercise. And it is one thing that is easy to miss as a student. It is one very important thing that it is just easy to miss as a student, especially when you are here in Africa, where we think that, not that we think, it's even a thing that academic excellence, as it were, or being a first class student is so important. It is very important. It's one of those things that we need as Africans. But while we overstress that going to school and all of that, there are more important skills that can set you apart for good than just your academic excellence. And what is that one thing that makes a student excel, whether they come out with a third class, a pass, or they even flunk out of school? That thing that is most important is knowing what you want. Knowing what you want. I cannot overemphasize this. We're almost 2 minutes in, and I will just say it. Knowing what you want. Oh my God. I have littered in this video. I'm not going to just talk about people that I've heard of or people that I've read about. I'm going to be telling you people that I know. First of all, I'm going to be calling names because I mean it's one very interesting thing to know that these people are people that I have experienced, that I have encountered. These people are people that are still living up until today. The work that they do, the quality of work that they do is verifiable. And you can Google them, you can look them up, and hello, Mr. Imalong. It's great to see you here. So these are people that you can Google and you can look up the quality of the work that they do. And I do this monthly monthly updates because no one did it for me while I was a student. So much more than academic excellence or getting a first class, what do you need? You need to first of all know what you want. You need to know what you want as a student. There's a thing that happens in Africa, and I don't know so much about other parts of the world, especially when you are doing your undergraduate. So when they ask you, hello Jenny, when they ask you what who are you or what do you do, introduce yourself, they'll say, oh, my name is so so and so and so, I am a student. That is nonsense. Everybody is a student of life. Is a student Everybody is a student of life. I'm trying to see some of the messages that are coming. Everybody is just a student of life, right? In this world right now. So when you say you are a student, it doesn't stand you out. So what do you want out of life? You are not too young to begin to ask yourself, what do you want out of life? And I promise you, the answer that you have today, if it changes in the course of the next 5 years, even in the course of the next 2 months, because you know better, it is still something commendable. The most important thing is that you know what you want. Why is knowing what you want important? When you know what you want, you can now begin to ask questions. Questions like, where am I right now? And what do I need to do to get to where I want to have that particular thing that I want out of life? I'll give you, let me start with my first example, right? Of someone who literally grew up with me, who I was privileged to mentor at a particular level in his life. His name is Richardson Ojeka. You can look him up. He runs Africado. Africado is a non-profit organization. It's a non-governmental organization that does a lot of work around consulting, business consulting, human capital development, and the like. And so Richardson I was a 300 level student where Richardson came into my room as a remedial student. And I saw Richardson, and the moment Richardson spoke, I knew that this person is totally different from the bulk of the people who were in remedial. Upon getting to know Richardson and talk with Richardson, Richardson had before coming into school to do remedial. Richardson, as University of Abuja, by the way, had started an organization with his friends. He had delivered a lot of malaria. They discovered a community somewhere, is it Nasarawa or Niger State, where people were dying because of malaria. And him and his friend had pulled together, oh my God, and they had gotten hundreds of mosquito nets and they had donated it to these people. That was Richardson's first welcome into the social impact space and social development space. And since then, since Richardson had that particular encounter, Richardson was like, you know what, this is what I want to do with my life. So Richardson began a consulting firm before I even got into the university. I was in 300 level, and I promise you, I didn't know what I kind of knew what I wanted out of my life. But my parents and everybody around me then were like, shut up. They did not understand the bulk of what I really wanted out of my life. So there was no support. It's also sad that I only had one elder one, which was my elder sister, a 2 year gap. And I mean, she just wouldn't understand. I didn't have older cousins or people who had been out there and people who were really working who could really mentor me. But Richardson had older ones. And that particular gap that I had is why I'm doing this video. So I can feel that elder brother, elder sister role that a lot of us do not have. So Richardson had elder brothers, at least that I know. I remember, I don't know if there was a sister in the picture, who were working and who could actually tell him, okay, you are not crazy, you are not, it's not weird that as a student, before even getting into the university, you can see a social problem and you are going to solve it. And today, Richardson, Africado is doing great work. You can just Google Africado. Africado is doing great work. Richardson never looked for a job for one day after he was done with school. Richardson, in fact, at some point, I worked under Richardson in Africado. That's how important this is, knowing what you want out of life. Because I wasn't so sure. I was dilly dallying, right? And so I worked with Richardson when they got their first office and all of those things. These are very interesting times, even for me as a person to think about and just reminisce, because these have shown me over time now. This I'm telling you is way over a decade ago. This has shown me that knowing what you want exactly, it will stand you out. It will stand you out exceeding abundantly above whatever it is that a first class will give to you. There's someone else that I will not mention the name. We have also worked briefly. We went to school together, University of Abuja. And while they were in school, he was also so deep about, don't mind me if I talk so much about the development space and social impact space, because that's where I actually playing right now. And just thinking about how to make this clear before you. This was where I was always supposed to be, but I didn't know what I wanted. I mean, when I told people around me, they were like, no, finish school, go and work, go and do this, go and do that. And so I wasn't resolute. But as a student, if you are resolute, if you can figure out what you want, if you want to play music, if you want to be a musician, go all out now. Yeah, people may talk about the nonsense that, oh, so what's the percentage of musicians that fail and all of those things. You have to develop thick skin, and knowing what you want and going all out for it will help you better than any first class degree in any part of the world will help you. There are people who are respected across the globe. I mean, look at Cosmos Maduka here, who is a Nigerian, who did not necessarily go have the typical school pathway that we have, so that we've had. So knowing what you want, it will set you apart. So this guy, for privacy sake, I wouldn't mention his name. While we're in school, in fact, there are two of them. While we're in school, they were obsessed with the United Nations, right? They loved diplomacy, international diplomacy. They loved the UN. I also would have really loved the UN, but I felt, oh, geography and environmental management, different people were pulling my ears in different directions, and I didn't even really know what I wanted to do. So I couldn't stand up to myself. But these two people, they loved the United Nations, and from school they began to, I think by 300 level they're about were the same level. These people began to try to see, how do I break into the UN space? How do I break into the UN space? How do I break into the UN space? Fast forward, I think early last year, thereabout, I happened to hop on a project with one of them, and we got to talk. And I asked him, You are a big man now in the UN. How did it start for you? And this is someone whose parents did not have much. This is someone who did not have much. Me, I was relatively chilling compared to this other guy. His parents did not have much. But it never stopped him. He knew what he wanted and he went out for it. Not necessarily having a first class or any of those things, but he went out for it. Asked how could he volunteer? How could he do things? How could he do things around the UN space? And he volunteered. When he was done with his final exam, he told me that Chima, I went on a 6 month unpaid internship at the United Nations House here in Abuja. And he went every single day. This is someone who I would have taken a 6 months internship at the UN House and not died because my parents would have covered for it. But this was someone who needed the money, who was able to put himself in spaces where he would get the opportunity. I myself, who could have done that and enjoyed without any stress and basically helped my people also out while doing that. I didn't. It wasn't so apparent to me what I really wanted to do. And so I did not put myself in rooms where there were those opportunities and the kind of stuff like that. And today he has worked from one agency to another agency. He's one of the top people in, I'm tempted to mention the field, but I will not. But this is someone who does great work and who is passionate and does the work that he does. What am I telling you? Did a first class or did academic excellence make way after? And these people that I'm telling you, Richardson, this other second person right now, were they failures in school? No, not necessarily. No, 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 not at all. Did they have a first class? No. I'm giving you Uni Abuja. These are people, lived references, people that you and I know, that I know that you can Google and I know their story. So I did not read out of any book. I did not learn it anywhere. These are people that we still get to interact up until tomorrow. I am inspired by the work that they do, hoping that one day perhaps they will be inspired. And I believe that some of them are also inspired by the work that I do. And so did the poverty in his parents' house stop him from landing an internship role in the UN? No. Did the fact that he did not have money and he had to do a 6 month paid unpaid internship at United Nations House stop him? No. The odds were against this my guy. But he did not have a first class. He just finished his final year exam when he went in there. There's another person that has BFG consult. I would, whether you get it or you get it, go and look for it. I think I missed one later, and that is very importantly. He had also wanted to do consultancy and research and all of that. And these people started out while we were in school. These were people were we hotheads? Yes, technically you could say we were hotheads, but we did not have the first class glamour and all of those things, right? Around us. But these people knew what they wanted. While me as I'm here talking to you, I did not know at that particular point in time. But oh yes, now I know what I want. Now I know what I want to get out of life. And it's a lot better for me. There's spring in my steps. I know things to say no to and things to say yes to, and that has actually really really helped me. I know the type of impact I want to leave, make the type of legacy I want to leave, and that's why I'm doing this type of things. So when you I'll give a third example. This is someone you can also Google, Hamza Lawal. So Hamza Lawal's story is very interesting. Also University of Abuja. Let me shock you, Hamza Lawal did study in University of Abuja for way more than 4 years. I think he did way more than 5, 6, 7 years thereabout. But the school kept giving him the opportunity. What happened? He knew he wanted to do social impact and the type of thing. At that particular point in time, there was a particular point in time where there was lead poisoning in a particular place in northern Nigeria, and the government said, "Oh, they've released XYZ millions of naira there." And so they were going to deal with the lead poisoning and the young people dying and all of that. But of course, the money never got to these people. And Hamza Lawal left his University of Abuja nest, wrote to the Ministry of Environment, wrote to the ministry saying, "What happened to this money? Why are children dying?" and all of that. They kicked him and turned him around like a football, and they left him. In fact, he later, not funded, he later took his own money, risked his life, and went down to the Bagega community. And that whole passion and everything bettered what we call follow the money today. And follow the money is a pan-African thing now. It tracks government expenditure and expenses across different nations of the world. code connected development, all that grew into what we call connected development. And Hamza Lawal, I'm not sure, I'm not sure how many people have asked him what is your university degree kind and all of that. The quality of work that he has done. He went to Bagega community, risked his life, leveraged X, what we call Twitter then, what we call X today, leveraged it and began to talk about, snapped pictures of people that were supposed to have gotten millions of naira, right, to stop the lead poisoning and all of that. But if the money didn't get back to them. Today, Bakega, he's almost like a chief or a king in Bakega today. He's a son of the soil that was not born there, but the quality of the work that he has done in Bakega. Today, Hamza Lawal, opportunities that people apply to get. And where has Hamza Lawal not gone? He is even a Chevening scholar as we speak. Where has Hamza Lawal not gone? Did he pursue academic excellence? Did he pursue a first class? No, he did not. Not necessarily. He did not pursue a first class. It took him way more years, many more years than it would take a typical average person like us, some of us who are claiming to be four pointers, to finish his first degree. But at the end of the day, did he? I mean, he can employ people like me. He can employ people with a first class. The work they do at Code Connected Development, it is so good. I spoke. I was invited by Connected Development to speak at ETHR. ETHR is, just Google ETHR and find out what it is. It's a commemoration of 1 hour where we turn off the lights. They celebrate ETHR yearly in collaboration with Transcorp Hilton. And so we're there at the Hilton, Transcorp Hilton here in Abuja, and I spoke. Was it this year now or last year? This year. So I spoke about what I do around my climate innovation and stuff. See, Hamza Lawal, it didn't necessarily have to be there. He's a Chevening scholar. It was later we found out that he was in the country and he was there. He did not pursue a first class, he did not pursue academic excellence. But knowing that, oh, this social impact space, this is what I want to do with my life. It said, I promise you, code can Code can employ people with doctors in front of their names with PhD. But Hamza Lawal is perhaps just doing a master's now. He was doing one University of Abuja. Now he's a Chevening scholar doing another master's. So thank God for first class. Thank God for academic excellence. It is cool. It is very interesting. But you, what do you want out of your life? And this is at the point in the video where I'll tell you that your dreams are valid. Your dreams are not stupid. Your dreams are not an excess. Your dreams are not unattainable. I don't care whether you are the backside of the desert. I don't care what nation you are in watching this video. Whenever you watch this video, whether I'm alive, whether I'm not alive, your dreams are super valid. You can accomplish that particular thing, those particular pictures that are in your head. You can accomplish it. In 2024, another real life story. I led the Nigerian delegation to the Africa Youth Connect Summit in Kigali, Rwanda, and I led it as the flag bearer. Shout out to everybody who was part of that delegation, and shout out to UNDP Nigeria and Youth Connect Africa for the great work that they do. So I met someone there during the YCAS who said that before he even grew, he was from a remote, I think Eastern Africa, was from a remote village that had to walk how many kilometers to and fro to be able to access the internet, then look for things, then apply for opportunities before he got his scholarship because of how unique his story was, and he left his village and that changed his life. And now, I mean, he's a poster boy for development for his country, doing amazing work. Did not have the university, whatever, did not have the first class and all of those things, but just that sheer determination of knowing that, you know what, I cannot spend all my life in this village. There's something way outside there bigger for me. That actually changed his life. So I don't care if it stands. You think that you want to dance, is that what you are really passionate about, and you are an undergraduate? Am I saying you should fail in school? No, I'm saying that you should go out, throw yourself out in dance circles, go for competitions. I mean, Google dance competitions near me. Look for tie tie that thing that is a passion of yours to something very important. There are different. I will give you an example. If you're African, there's the AU's Agenda 2063, and it's not spoken so much about because there's not so much fanfare, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm to say that there's not so much support in and around the AU's Agenda 2063, if that's going to be the right thing to say, but it's not as glamorous and easily acceptable or easily discoverable as the Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations. Of course, that the SDGs are a global framework, and that just gives it a lot wider reach, right? But as the AU's Agenda 2063, you can tie your dance to one of the things in the AU Agenda 2063 or one of the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, and do a dance piece, build something around it. There are people, look at Miriam Booker, who was the first United Nations something something on peace and something like that. What gave her that access? Spoken word. And shout out to Youth of Africa also for, I mean, the DARE conference, which is a major platform. I believe that Mariam Booker was on before and all of that before she got this big. What is it? Spoken word, spoken word, spoken word. When it wasn't even so much of a big deal here. A lot of us Africans, we are very dramatic. We can talk for Africa, and we can enunciate, we can tell stories. Spoken word, that same thing stood Mariam Booker out. So your dreams are valid. Your dreams are valid. Your dreams are valid. You don't need a first class to pursue your dreams. You don't need quote and unquote academic excellence as you were to pursue your dreams. You are to have that as an added advantage so that you can reason properly, so that you can exist in rooms that a lot of people will think that you are not prepared for. So you don't need a first class, you don't even need a university degree, you don't need any of those things. I say that with all level of humility. See, there is nothing that will not bow to the absoluteness and clarity of purpose. When you are clear about what you want to do, go out there and do it. I've given an example of dance. You see, music, sing about something that makes sense. I'm talking from the development spaces angle. So you can stretch this, go and look for global frameworks, go and look for things that people are interested in, and tie that particular dream of yours to it. I recently met someone at the, what's it? Is it Nigerian Youth Climate Summit? No, the Nigerian Plastic Summit. Shout out to Public Policy Innovation Center and the great work that was done in the Nigerian Plastic Summit last week. And this guy was telling me, so I was telling him how when I was younger, I was saying that, oh, I wanted to work with Nat Geo Wild. I've always been a fan of nature and all of those things. Not necessarily plants, but wildlife and the environment they're about. And so I told him that, oh, I wanted to work. When I was younger, I was saying I wanted to work with Nat Geo and do a project and all of those things. And he was like, oh, it's possible. And I was like, but it's too late and all that. And he's like, no, it's possible. Okay, he has done this with Natural Wild and he's in so and so community in Natural Wild and all of that. And it was a mind blowing thing. So me that SY will come and tell you that, oh, your dreams are valid and all of those things. I even thought one of my dreams was not going to be valid. And I'm trusting God that I'm going to work with him to come up with something that is substantial and work with that job. Should that happen, that would be a very big reinforcing factor to me that some of the things that I dreamt about when I was younger, and a lot of people were telling me that it's weird that I should not, it's not for people like me, right? That would tell me clearly, that would tell me practically in my life that it is a lie. All the dreams are attainable. All my dreams are attainable. All my dreams are attainable. And so that's why I'm also telling you, all your dreams are attainable. Now, there's a different class of students, and I'm going to speak to you clearly, who were like me that would say, what if I don't know what I want to do? What if I'm not sure of okay, what if I'm not sure of what my life really should become? What if I'm not sure about what and how I really want to do what I want to do? What would you say, Chima, about this? One of the very sad things that I regret in my university days was that I didn't try a lot. Yeah, I didn't try a lot of things. So I did the bulk of what students in my school do, the good students in my school do. I lived a rectangular life from the hostel to my class to chapel and to football field. So my life kind of revolved around these four things and these four places. While my friends like Richardson, who was a school son to me, would go out. I mean, Richardson later was he revived Isaac in school and all of those things. I felt that all those things were necessary. I was a 4 pointer. I was, when your head is hot, you are one of those good people. I was thinking that some of those extra other things are not necessary. Please go and do stuff. Go and try new things. It's better you try something now while you are young and discover that you don't like it and it's not something you want to do for the rest of your life, than to go on to just live yourself that way and have things that you think that you like, and at the end of the day you are done with school and you don't even know what to do with your life. Some of you need to take a gap year before you do NYSC. Go and discover yourself. Go and volunteer. Go and intern. You think you like environment, go and look for avenues to do stuff around the environment. Don't wait for people to even present that opportunity for you. If it's not there, create something, gather 5 people and tell them, you know what, we are the environment watchdogs of our hostel and all of those things. It's a time where you can go live on almost any social media platform and connect with people almost anywhere on the face of the earth. Take advantage of it, document these things. If I were to go back again as a student and I would see opportunity to go to town for something, a conference or whatever, I would do it. I represented my school, I represented my department across the board. In fact, I even spoke on the same platform with the then Minister of State of Environment of Nigeria. I did that, but I did not put myself out there. I didn't go out there to pursue the things that I had interest in. It cost me a lot outside school. When I was done with school and some threats happened, that's a long story, and they say I should lay low for a while. I simply lost it. I became almost like a ghost, right? Without direction and all of those things. Now that you are in school, it is a great time to, you can walk into any organization and establishment and tell them, this is who I am, I'm a student of XYZ, and I think I'm interested in so and so. It would be great to learn in this organization and also look for what you have to offer. If you are going to do volunteering or internships, look for what to offer. Don't go and say, oh, I want to learn and all of those things. What would they gain from you? Can you do MCs? Okay, say I can do MCs for some of your events, I can do spoken words for some of your events, I can do this. If you, I can carry files, I can buy food for everybody in the office, I can go out, I can handle logistics. Look for something to offer while you are saying, you know what, I think I want to do this. I am like this. And for some of the people who know me and some of the quality of the work that I do in the country and even in the region and Africa as a whole, I still volunteer. I'm not bigger than volunteering. I'm not bigger than seeing people that are doing stuff that align with my values and going out to say, great, how can I help with this? I volunteer, and at the end of the day, it volunteer means that I'm not even paid though. I'm not saying that you must take up unpaid volunteership, volunteering opportunities and all of that, but I'm saying that I volunteer till tomorrow and I'm not paid, and I still look forward to volunteering and living true to my values. So if you don't know what to do, if you really don't know what to do, you are not sure, try things out. You are young, you are in the university, try things out. A lot more people will pay attention to you just because you are young and just because you are an undergraduate. Try things out, try things out. Don't wait for another person to do stuff for you. Try things out. And the last thing that I would say to you, while whether you have discovered or you're trying things out, reach out to people who are ahead of you and understand. Now I will shake a table. This is even for people who have this academic excellence or are on this first class trajectory, right? And understand that there's a reason why they are ahead of you. I wish I had reached out. I mean, there's also someone, Aliu Chikewa. Uh, he became president years after, I think it was 100 level while I was president, became president in my state. Reached out to me, we spoke, I helped him. I helped him while I was president and all of that. I didn't reach out to a lot of people that were ahead of me. And when he became president, I began to reach out and say, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to. Now he's an Erasmus Mundus scholar. He's an Erasmus Mundus scholar. He's in Europe as we speak, studying climate change as it were, or something in and around environmental management and climate change. This was someone who knew what he wanted to do while he was still a student, put himself out there, organize things. The things that I did, I tell you, this guy blew it out of proportion and did a whole lot of things. So while we are knowing what you are doing and all of those things, go and look for, I would say, elder brothers and elder sisters who have been there, done that, who are living the type of life that you want to live. Reach out to them and learn from them. Take advice from them. Some of these people, once they discover that you are interested and you are actually a person of value, they begin to point you towards the opportunities that you didn't even know that existed. They would the things that they've missed out on, especially as many of them who have a good heart, they will prepare you in such a way that you will even surpass wherever they are. You take advantage of those things at your level and surpass whatever it is that they've gotten to in this life. So what is, in rounding up, this is my rounding up, we're almost at the 30 minutes mark. So what am I saying about what you need beyond the first class? What is the thing that I'm talking about? What you need beyond the first class is knowing what you want out of life. And see, there's nobody that ultimately exhaustively knows what they want out of life. You will not know if you really want it if you do not go ahead to do some work. You will not know if you don't want it if you do not try it. So try it, try it. Richardson, I saw a video about Richardson and I smiled. He said that I started a consultancy firm straight out of secondary school. I didn't even know what I was doing. That's the thing. None of us, even I myself, if you see me next year and you see the bulk of the work that I'm doing or where I am in life, don't think that I knew that as at the time I was recording this video in June 2026 that by 2027 I'll be XYZ. Not necessarily so. Some of the things are apparent, some of the things are long-term goals that I'm working towards. But a lot of the things that I was telling someone yesterday that when you know exactly what you want, then you begin to act very differently from those who don't know what they want. When you, if for example, if I want to eat fried rice now this afternoon, there are two options that I have. I can either go to the market, get vegetables and cook rice, cook the fried rice, right? Or I will go to a place where they sell good fried rice and eat fried rice. But as a person that really doesn't know what they want to eat, is it pounded yam, is it apple, is it porridge yam, what exactly they want to eat, so they don't know. And that doesn't even save them time. That doesn't help them ask the right questions. If I know that it's fried rice I want to eat, I'll ask, if I'm in a new area, please, where is the best place that they sell fried rice? Or where is the, if affordability is the challenge, is my major challenge, where is the best place where they sell good affordable fried rice? Do you understand it? So that's the same way it is with life. Nobody is coming to save you, nobody is basically coming to bail you out. What you want is your decision to make. It is your own decision to make. Nobody should talk you out of it. Nobody can talk you out of it. It's you reserve 100% the right to dream. It is your right to dream, and your dreams are valid. Your dreams can become reality if only you don't give up on it. If only you don't give up on it. And lastly, I would say, it's saying that, oh, I want this and I want that, and that's why I'm doing this and that's why I'm doing that, and not going out of your way to make sacrifices to ensure that what you are putting yourself always in the ring or in the area close to where what it is that you want is available. You are just joking, then you are deceiving yourself. See, a goal, knowing what you want, is not knowing what you want if you are not able to sacrifice, if you are not able to go out of your way to ensure that you put yourself in that things, you get yourself closer to it by the day. It mustn't be large steps, but you just keep getting yourself closer and closer and closer and closer to it by the day. When you know what you want, you can now ask better questions. You can now, at least you can search the internet and say, how do I become a, and all those things about knowing what you want. Don't say that, oh, I want to be rich, or I want to be a multi-billionaire, or I want to be a multi, that's nonsense. That's not the type of knowing what you want. What type of value do you want to add? Everybody wants to be, I've not seen someone who said that they wanted to be poor and all of those. All those generic things don't make any sense. It's not what I'm talking about. I mean being definite. I've given you examples of people who, someone who wanted to do stuff in the UN, someone who, these are lived examples, someone who founded Connected Development, someone who, I mean, these are people who are real examples. They are Googleable. You can Google them and see the work that they've done. They did not have to dilly-dally like some of us who were done with school and felt that a good result is all that matters and all of those things. And so we just struggled and wasted time when would have done way better than whatever it is that we've done today. So with these few points of mine, go and ask yourself, what do I want? When you answer that question, then you ask yourself, what can I do from where I am right now with the resources that are available to me to get what I want? And then keep on moving. I would also say that if you think you want something and you start it and you find out that it's not something that you are comfortable with, it is your prerogative. It is totally up to you to change it. none of us has the right to tell you to continue on that path if you wouldn't. To the one person who has been here for the bulk of the time, and a few other people, the 20 something other people who are joined at several other points, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Share this to other students, and I mean, write in the comments and let me just know what you have to say about it. Thank you. God bless you.